Yo, what's happening? It's your boy Ready Rod again with another hot take. And found something interesting right before I started this review, so to speak. But I had to, the topic is Jay-Z and the Target boycott, and you know how Jay-Z released, his new album exclusively through Target, and what his response to the people talking about it too. And shout out to the boys at the Jam podcast. It kind of caught my eye with everything, And I'm just piggybacking off day tape, but I also feel the same way. But I was putting, when I was making my title, I was putting in Jay-Z a moniker, one of his nicknames that he used to use. So I tried to put in, Jigga, Jigga, and they wouldn't let me upload it because it said it was profanity. And I, to be honest, I don't have a problem with it. I just thought it was kind of interesting that they were, that they did that, and how other people can't do it. Really, is what was kind of surprising for me about it. But just to comment on this boycotting Target, I've never really been a Target shopper, so I wasn't going anywhere. I have been before, but that just wasn't a place that I would ideally choose to shop at anyway. So it's no problem for me. I won't be going back anytime soon either. And rarely do I eat at McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's anyway, and he kind of, he hit on the notion, he kind of referenced that people pick and choose who they want to boycott, so to speak. And like the guys I mentioned before, we have pick and chooses because we don't have a choice really. Sometimes we're forced to, to choose the options that we have. But you being a billionaire, you had options. You had multiple options how to release, your content, your music, and you chose to go to one of the places that continues to slight the black community, and that was, it's, interesting. I can't say that I would agree with it, but like I said, to each his own. But yeah, man, it's and I've always, I always been a Jay-Z fan. The man's pen, lyrics. He's always been in one of my top, in my top 5. But everything, everything the way, a couple of ways he's been moving outside of hip hop, it's kind of questionable, to say the least. And and I just wanted to touch on that, but it's very interesting, and like I said, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research myself on the whole ins and outs of the situation. But yeah, just putting the word out there, what I, my opinion. But let me know what you guys think, holla at me.
Custom search, select your favorite ones and matches to matchmaking search will prioritize the